All right, and we are starting right now. All right, hey, what's going on? Today we're checking out 1 year of officially releasing music to the world. Because I wanted to, and I wanted to analyze how far I have come, and my analysis and thoughts on each and every track that I've released. So, let's get into it. Harmonics is just weird because it's just a few random harmonics. That's all it is, really. It's not an intro that's memorable at all. And that cuts off the delay and the reverb at the end. For Don't Trust Me, it was an idea that I originally had on the bass for about 2 years, maybe 3 years prior. So it was really like one of the first songs that I wrote. And it's still the only bass song that I've ever written. There's not much to say about it. I could have played some parts cleaner, but the tone is fine, I guess. Ah, yes, Falling Autumn. Falling Autumn is another one of my older ideas. And it's very sentimental for me because it's a old track. I don't know. There's not a lot to say about this one either. It's just I know the recording of this one was especially elaborate because it was my most prized possession, this idea. So I wanted to make it as great as possible. So I used the bass and the little Starcaster I have, and my dad's acoustic 12-string, and those are all the instruments that you hear on the track. And for the parts where the guitar gets quieter, because I did the tapping part 2 frets down, the bass goes up higher to fill that in. I thought it was a cool little touch. Yes, the Adventure Karma theme song was the theme song that I wrote for my friend Adventure Karma, the YouTuber, and he has used it in most of his videos up till this point, even still. And this was the one idea that I don't ever want touched. I don't want this song modified to be like used in a song for lyrics, and I would just add bass and drums to what is already there, and that is it. I don't want this idea touched. This is the piece that I am honestly most proud of, besides Falling Autumn. I think this is actually number 1 for me. This is my favorite track by far out of all the ones that I've made. Even some of the newer ones. There's a special place in my heart for this song. Because it's so loose. Oh, and then The Length of a Summer Day. This one has no structure or value to it at all. It's a bunch of random ideas that eventually turn into a noodle session and ended up being 11 minutes long. And then I kept that same theme in Military Snake with Passive Power, the noodle of that album. It's completely weird and not necessary. And The Length of a Summer Day is the only track on this album that is in D sharp, not E. Tuning, anyways. So, yeah, pretty dumb. It's just random nonsense. Oh yeah, Wind Up. This one was it's just a pick slide all the way up from the nut to the bridge, and then a D sharp power chord, because this whole album was tuned down to D sharp, not E. Sight has a few memorable riffs, but it eventually started to turn into a noodle session, so I cut it off short. But it's still got some good riffs in there, I think. Passive Power, yeah, that's the noodle. There's nothing notable in that one. Adventure Karma 2, it was just a re-recording of the original Adventure Karma theme. Not nearly as memorable, in my opinion. But it's okay. It's still the Adventure Karma theme. Military Snake, that's the title track, obviously. And I had written the first and third parts actually in a dream. I had this really weird dream, and I'm not lying about this. You can take this however you will, but my story for this is that the first and third parts were written by me in a dream. I was playing Kirk Hammett's new signature guitar in that dream in front of Kirk Hammett himself. He gave it to me, and I played that along with a few other things, and he was super impressed and gave me that guitar. And I mean, it was just a dream, but it was still pretty cool that I remembered the actual guitar playing in that dream. And the second part of the song is based off of a neoclassical lick in Michelangelo Badio's song, No Boundaries. And I just repeat the lick 2 frets up the fretboard every time I do it. It's just 2 frets up all the time until there's no more room on the fretboard to go up 2 more frets. And then But Are You Really Alive is just this tapping exercise I had made for myself that I just turned into a song by going up all 6 strings, doing the same pattern, and then doing something random at the end because I can. My overall thoughts on those first 2 albums as well was just No Excuses was better than Military Snake, in my opinion. It was a lot tighter, still pretty loose, but there's also sentimental value to it for me, since it was my first album, released the day of or the day after Rob Scallon's birthday, I believe, which has no meaning at all. I just thought it was cool at the time, so I also remember that. But let me think. I didn't really like Military Snake that much afterwards because there's so many mistakes and it's so dumb. And I recorded the entire thing in one night and released it that same night. It's super dumb and it has really it doesn't deserve any praise at all. But half the tracks on that album are some of the most listened to tracks from my Bandcamp page. So, I mean, I'm glad that people like it, but I sure didn't. I want to honestly re-record that album at some point, actually do it some justice and get it right, and then re-release it. Of course, I'll still keep the original album up just as a re-recorded Military Snake. That would be kind of cool. This Crazy Train cover. Yeah, the Crazy Train cover, well, my friend Lila McKee had been learning this on piano, and I thought it'd be cool to approach her about a collaboration just because, thought it'd be fun. She agreed and learned the stuff, sent it to me. I recorded my parts and mixed it all together. Her piano playing is great, and my guitar does kind of lazily on it. I extended the solo, and the tones are really harsh, and they fight the piano a lot in the mix. It could have been mixed a lot better, and Lila played piano really, really well. I could have done my parts better. I lost time, and just could have been better on my part. It wasn't all that great, and the tones just aren't that cool to begin with. Okay, not this. The Gift. Yes, The Gift. The first song that I wrote on the Dean Aviator that I have. It was given to me by my uncle and godfather way up north, and this song I wrote especially for him. So this is like the only song that's really dedicated to anybody at the moment that I've written, because it's just I wrote it for him as a sort of thank you, and now it's like honestly one of my best songs. I'll acknowledge that. There's no real flaws in the overall musicality of it. I played the parts a little sloppy. Even in the re-recording later on, I recorded it a little sloppy, but still one of the best songs I've ever written. I'm really proud of it. Sinister Truth Part 1. And I originally was just going to have Sinister Truth just like that, but when I saw how long the album actually was, it was like 11 minutes. I was like, nah, there's got to be a part 1. So then part 2 is 15 minutes long, and I'm like, okay, fine. That's fine. And so For the Living is the reversed form of For the Dead, which I just recorded the rhythm track on the spot, and then the lead track on the spot, and then copy-pasted the lead track onto a new track and just pitch shifted it up a fifth, I believe. Or maybe down a fifth. I can't remember now. I think it was down a fifth, yeah. Because there wasn't any like outrageous high notes above the 24th fret or something. Yeah, it was down a fifth. So the For the Living is reversed, and I really like it. I mean, just personally, because I love hearing songs in reverse. It's pretty cool. Then there's The Gift, re-recorded. The re-recording is... It's all right. It's all right. I still like the original because it's just quieter. It's calmer. The tone isn't nearly as up there, you know. And this entire album, by the way, all of Sinister Truth Part 1, was recorded with my actual amp and pedals. The 3 Michelangelo Badio signature pedals, and a TC Electronics Sky Surfer reverb pedal into a little PV Rage 158, and I recorded it with my podcast mic because I had no other microphone at the time. It's a Moano PS model. I don't remember the exact model. And that's what the whole album was recorded on. And the Military Snake re-recorded. And I really, really love the Military Snake re-recording. It's a lot cleaner. There's actually 3 definitive parts. And it's really, really incredible. I just love that song. I love playing it. I like whenever I test out guitars now, I always play Military Snake to really test out the guitar. See if I can play Military Snake on it. If I can, and I can play it well, it's a good guitar. Treacherous Journey I had from like 2019, and it was originally written in drop D. But I had been recently experimenting with super lower tunings, so I thought drop it to C and then drop tune that. So that's drop A sharp, and that's what that's recorded on. And it's recorded with a little 3/4 size classical guitar with a cutaway in it. It's like the cheapest thing, but it was my first guitar, so I was like, I wanted an acoustic song. I have a bass song, I want an acoustic song, you know, because cool stuff. And then For the Dead to close out the album. And then enter Sinister Truth Part 2, which was released on the day of No Excuses a year afterwards. Generic Sad Song is just a run-through of a few riffs that I wrote in the band that I was in at the time. And you can go on my channel and find the band practice sessions. You can hear me create the riffs there. But I just extrapolate on them, and it's not just a B minor to F sharp major. It's just I just expand on it a little bit and then throw on harmonies, and then that B minor riff will drop out, and a little jam in like E or something will happen, while a little solo happens, and then outro just with a whammy bar. Devolving into Insanity and Deserted were 2 songs that I had from April of 2019, and I just thought it would be cool to revisit them and kind of recreate them, just refine the riffs. Because it's all demos that have been sitting in my computer for a while, and I have the material, so I'm like, hey, I'll just fix it up. Devolving into Insanity is fun because in my mind it's a steady progression. It's like nice, good solo, just nice, clean guitar with a good solo over it, and then a weird bottleneck slide solo on a heavily distorted electric guitar, which doesn't really sound right. So it kind of gives this weird off feeling because the player cannot play slide guitar well at all, that player being me. And then it goes into another clean guitar part where it's starting to sound really strangely off, and then progresses into just weird nonsense with the bottleneck slide. There's really nothing to that at all musically. Deserted is pretty standard, just steady progression of chords. Nothing really special, I guess. And then there's The Snake Returns, which is kind of Military Snake Part 2 that I wrote. It's got 3 more sort of distinguishable parts. One of them I had actually played just the second part, the tapping part, I had just randomly played in the Guitar Center in Utah on the Flying V. And I remembered the idea, and I revisited the video and really liked what I was hearing, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. I want to put that in a song. So I put it in that one. And that's it. There's still some old material that is sitting in my computer still that I have to revisit. There's still an idea from 2018 that I still haven't figured out how to use yet. Probably will at some point, though. So overall, like, if I had to rate my own albums, I would give, I don't know, they're all pretty weird, since they're all just solo releases from some kid, and they're not, that good. Not really. I'm glad that people like it, but it's not anything terribly special. I think that my production quality has gone up a little bit, and I've definitely been able to do better takes now. Just getting better at the whole recording process of it over the year. No Excuses was really loose, and the Adventure Karma theme I actually had written and recorded long before the idea of an album even came to my mind. So I just threw it on there kind of as a bonus, like, whatever. I need a song on there. I have this recorded. I'll just use it. And it's incredibly loose at the beginning and during the solo as well. But it's still fun to jam on. I got rid of the idea of doing noodles for each album just because it doesn't belong there. It's just dumb to have a noodle track that you're never going to be able to replicate live because it's just random. You know? I don't like Military Snake that much, and I really want to go re-record it. It's got all the ideas and the potential, and I just rushed through it and released it because I had set some sort of deadline for myself that it was going to be around Christmas time. So I just, December 17th, I just said heck it and just recorded it all, and it's just like, it's just not really that good. There's not really a whole lot more to say, except that I really like the Sinister Truth Part 1 and 2. That's a really good album, I think, and I really enjoy it. But it's not yeah, I've still got a ways to go with those 2 albums. I know I actually said 1 album. I'm falling asleep now. Those 2 albums are really the start of me finding my own tone and sound, I think. Actually developing a style of writing music. That's what I think it is, but I'm not entirely sure because it's kind of still in the air. It's very unsure still, and it likes to move around. So, not sure yet. Honestly, now that I have all these songs, I want to go out and play live. I want to play live some of these songs, but I haven't found a time or place to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll be recording a lot more practice sessions. After this, I actually went to this guy named Eric. He's another metalhead guitarist like myself. And the video for that, the practice session 53, is currently exporting right now, and it'll be uploaded within the night of recording this. So, yeah. I'm trying to get back on practice sessions. And I know I never finished the series of the Learning No Boundaries. I just needed to practice, and I could never get around to just turning on the recorder and just recording what I played. So I never got to upload anything. And now I started a new 30-30 project where I'm going to learn all of the Injustice for All album by Metallica on guitar and bass, and I've got to learn all the lyrics so that I can sing it. So really all that I'm not doing is playing the drums. So far it's been pretty good. I'm like 4 days in, and the bass work is coming along very nicely. Now I just got to learn some guitar solos, the rest of the riffs, and should be good. I think the hardest part for me will be the solos and the singing. And then I'll just make a big, massive video where there'll be 3 of me playing the 3 tracks, the rhythm, the lead, and the bass. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Like and subscribe. If you're new, then this video will make no sense to you. Go listen to my music. It's on Bandcamp and YouTube. Just check my channel and scroll down a bit to find the playlists where all my albums are. Check out all the channels that I have on my channel, just listed as cool people on YouTube or, inspirations. Yeah. Commentary videos are not my thing. This will probably be the only one that I do for a long time unless somebody has a really good suggestion. But, yeah. Pretty short video. I thought there would be more to talk about, but I guess there's not that many details about my songs. It's just doing it, There's not really a whole lot to talk about. You just business, I guess. Anyways, yeah. Stay metal, like and subscribe, and share my channel and music with everyone you know, and all that cool promotion stuff that YouTubers have to do every now and then. Bye.